Hey, 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 good evening, everyone. It is the 2nd of February, the year of Satoshi 2021. You are watching the BloomCast. This is episode 39. Wow, we're actually doing 39 episodes now. When we first entered this new year, we were all making a joke that, 2021, this was going to be the year where we start to rebuild, where things start to stabilize, where we try to recover from the crazy year that was 2020. And yeah, no, I guess that's not happening. I don't think that's what's happening at all. I think that the whole crypto market, the whole stock market, everything is going a little bit crazier than we all anticipated. And I guess that means we have a lot to talk about this week. My name is Luis. I'm one of the founders of Bloom. You're watching the BloomCast. Let me introduce our regular panel, and then we've got one special guest who I'll also introduce very shortly. With me is Ramon Tayag, CTO of Bloom Solutions, and Justin David, COO of Bloom Solutions. Now, normally, Mark Vernon would be with us, CEO of Tag Cash. I'm not sure if he will still be able to make it, but if he's able to join us, then I'll bring him on quickly. But this week, we are joined by a special guest who has been with us one other time, and we're actually very glad to have him back. His name is Nichelle Gaba. He is the CEO of pdax.ph. Nichelle, welcome back. Really cool to see you again.
You too, Luis. Yeah, thanks
Tell
for
us
having me here.
yeah, it's great, and thanks also for joining at such short notice. Though, like we tend to kind of plan these things very last minute because it's a crazy week, right? So crypto has been going nuts, and
Hmm.
everyone is trying to figure out what's going on. Tell us, like what's been going on with pdax.ph and your other project bonds.ph.
Yeah, so I'm sure, like yourself, no, because crypto markets have been super active since I think Q4 of last year. Yeah, we're also quite busy, so I won't be surprised if there are going to be a lot of comments about, oh, I'm still waiting for this upgrade or this cash in or whatnot,
Okay.
because it has been pretty crazy. I think, well, I do hope that adoption of crypto continues beyond this craze.
Yeah, yeah.
With
So
Bonds PH naman, oh sorry,
yeah,
yeah, with
yeah.
with
Go
Bonds,
ahead. Yeah, with bonds.
yeah. So Bonds PH is one of our no, one of our projects. It's in partnership with the DOF and the Bureau of Treasury. We're experimenting with basically the Ethereum blockchain to record traditional treasury bills. So eventually, what we want to do there is to, I guess, make these treasury bills more accessible by um, making them more bite-sized. So I think right now you can get a T-bill, an RTB for 5,000 pesos. Eventually, we hope na through blockchain we can offer them in smaller denominations.
Maybe to give people context, like if you before bonds.ph, how would they be able to participate in this kind of thing before?
Right. So actually, what really brought this on was the pandemic, right? So we
Yeah.
we entered into lockdowns beginning March, and the government also had also bayanihan that they had to fund, right? So if you're the government, how do you raise money at a time when people cannot go to bank branches to buy bonds, which used to be how you buy bonds. So we worked with them to launch the app. Dati kasi, pag bibili ka ng bonds, you have to like line up at a branch, fill out forms, meet an RM, and depending on the bank, they have very high minimums. So
What kind of minimums are we talking about? Like
we're talking about
previously.
50,000 pesos.
Okay.
Yeah, 10,000 is probably the smallest.
Okay.
Sometimes 100K, right, which is not
Right.
very accessible.
Right.
Why? Because it's very expensive for banks to have the paperwork and have the person there interview you. So we basically digitized a lot of these previously manual services, right? So KYC is automated, cashing in and out is also somewhat automated, and we're able to offer it at smaller bites.
Nice. So, guys, if you've not tried bonds.ph before, give it a look, no? So, I know this is a crypto show, and we're probably going to spend most of our time talking about crypto. But, if you are looking for something that is, I guess you could say, a little less volatile than
A
cryptocurrency,
lot less volatile. It's
So
yeah,
that's an understatement, no?
yeah.
This is probably something worth looking at, and I think parang if you wanted to get like just general advice about how to manage your portfolio, a little bit of diversification, never a bad idea. So worth checking out for sure. Now, PDAX.ph naman is one of the country's order book exchanges. So this is for the people. Like, would you describe this as more of an advanced users kind of platform for crypto trading?
Right. Great question. Order book trading is actually quite mainstream in other markets, but I think now we're trying to help our market get to that level of trading behavior. So we actually have a simpler app also, which is a mobile app that
Yeah.
you can download through the App Store or Play Store. So yeah, if you're new, you might want to try the app. If you're a little bit more advanced, you might want to try the web-based platform.
Which is like the full parang order book exchange with all of the bells and whistles. We have a question from the chat from Charm. 5 years maturity on bonds, is that is that the correct? How does that
Yeah,
work?
that's correct. So what normally happens is the government announces that they're gonna sell bonds. Normally, ano lang yan, 2 or 3 weeks notice, right? And then we turn on the app. During the auction, that's when they specify the terms, right? Like the interest rate, the maturity. So typically, it's 5 to 7 years.
Okay. So it's long term. I think that's the most important part of it. It's long term, but it's not a massive amount of money. It could be like relatively small.
Correct.
And maybe the most important part is that it's not as volatile as your maybe crypto related investments, because those are,
Yeah.
I think, based on this last week, pretty fucking volatile. So let's talk a little bit about what's been happening. No, and if and anyone saw the Facebook post that Bloom did about this week's episode, you knew that we were going to be talking about mostly what's been going on with GameStop, with the whole Wall Street bets thing, and all of that stuff. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about it in chronological order, like how it started and then basically where it is right now. A lot of it is crypto related, but some of it is actually medyo kind of more generic stock market, no? And I wanted to start with this one screen here. This is kind of an interesting screen. So normally at the start of the show, we usually talk about we always show the coin market cap page because we wanted to show like how big the market cap of the crypto industry is. No? And that's a pretty good indicator because is it a good week, is it a bad week, etc. I saw this at the top of the coin market cap page. Instead of Bitcoin being number one, there is a number 0 and it says Wall Street bets. Now, this is an ad, obviously. This is an advertisement, and I wish they had made it a little bit more clear that this was an ad.
Oh, that's what it
But
is.
yeah, it's just an advertisement for Wall Street Bets, which is a subreddit. It's just a page, it's just a forum where day traders get together. Normal retail sized day traders, they get together to talk about what they want to buy or sell, right? That's all it is. But for some reason, they now have so much money, they're so organized that they are taking like this top spot at this prime advertisement real estate at the top of coin market cap. And I just found that to be a very interesting indicator of what's been going on this week. Okay, so all right, so let's get started with exactly what's been happening. No, so unless you guys were not paying attention at all to the market this week, you probably heard the name GameStop. Now, quick reminder for everyone. Like, does anyone here on the cast even know what GameStop is before this week? Have you ever heard of GameStop? Michelle, had you ever heard of GameStop before this week?
I've seen stores, so it's just
Okay.
like a data
Yeah.
blitz. That's our data blitz. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and GameStop has been around for decades, no? So it's kind of like the same age as Blockbuster Video or one of these really old kind of what you call IRL outlets and chains. So where you can buy your video games. It's still alive, unlike Blockbuster, which is dead now. And would you say that it's not really doing well? I guess that's kind of the whole premise of this whole thing, no? As a business, GameStop has not been doing well over the last couple of years. However, Wall Street Bets, which is that subreddit, that forum that we were talking about earlier, they decided that GameStop was actually a little bit more undervalued than kind of what their stock price was saying. Um, and what happened, I guess, was that they decided to support GameStop in a really big way. Um, Michelle, like when I first talked to you about doing this episode with us, like I mostly wanted to have someone kind of describe parang what happened over the start at the start of this, and kind of
Mhm.
explain what was going on. One of the main headlines here was that GameStop has risen by about
Mm.
1,350%, no, during the last month. And those are crypto numbers,
Mm.
yung ganun na multipliers, no? Can you like just basically kind of describe maybe what happened at the start of this?
Sure. So I'm happy to share my thoughts. Obviously, I was also following this quite closely.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, a lot of fundamental investors,
Mm-hmm.
analysts, they don't think that GameStop's business model is gonna be profitable in the long run, right? Because of e-commerce, everyone's just downloading games, everyone's having um, gaming consoles, PS4s, PS5s, etc., delivered to their doorstep. No
Mm-hmm.
one probably would want to go to GameStop anymore. So that's kind of the
Mm.
long-term view. And
Yeah.
in the traditional stock market, if your growth, um, if your growth opportunities are quite small, you get penalized, right? Your stock price will, in theory, have to go to its book value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Banana growth. Um, so what happened was a lot of hedge funds began shorting stocks like GameStop, Bed Bath and Beyond, and other brick and mortar stores.
AMC was the other one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, AMC, the movie
Mm.
theater,
Yeah. Yeah.
Nokia. Actually, I have
Yeah.
some Nokia shares personally, so I was
Teka, pause
surprised.
muna. What's use the word short? What's short?
Okay,
Yes.
short. Okay, so what's short? Okay, normally when you buy a stock, it means you have faith that the company behind the stock will perform well, right? That's why you're
Yes.
buying it.
Right.
Um, if you don't believe that the stock will perform well, what you can do is you can short it. How do you do that? Well, kunwari, GameStop is worth 100 pesos today. And I think it should just be worth 30. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll tell my broker, uh, and my broker will lend me shares of GameStop, and I sell those borrowed shares for 100 pesos. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to later on I have to buy back the GameStop share para masoli ko yung hiniram ko na
Mm-hmm.
share.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a borrowing activity. I borrow the share today. I have to return it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And if let's say today I'm able to sell it at 100 pesos,
Mm-hmm.
and 1 week from now it goes down to 30 when I buy it back, I made 70 pesos. So that's how shorting works.
Right, right. So on a basic level, it is betting against the performance of a company. So yeah, like Nishal said, if you don't think this company is gonna do well, you can make I mean, because of the stock market, you can make some very sizable bets, very large bets against that company. And so that was the situation with GameStop. There were
Mhm.
hedge funds that were betting against it, essentially.
Right.
By the way, this whole short thing, you can do this with crypto also, and lots of
Yeah,
people
that's
make a
right.
lot of money shorting Bitcoin, shorting all of these different stocks.
You
At
can't
least,
do it in the
different
Philippine stock market, though. For anybody
You
listening,
you
you
cannot do it
cannot.
in the
You
Philippine
cannot do it in
stock
Philippine
market.
stock
Yeah.
market.
Why do you think that is? Does anyone? Why do we not allow that?
I don't want to
Um,
say anything.
It's complicated, right? Like because the way our rules are set up here is shorting requires borrowing and lending authority basically, and most shares here are held by custodians who actually are not allowed to engage in borrowing and lending. So that's one, I guess, restriction. But I do know that rules are being made to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that the stock market here would not want to have that ability at some stage, just because yun nga, like it allows you to bet against the market, which currently it's not. There's no real way to do that other than divesting from the stock directly, no. So I think that's kind of an interesting situation. All right, so let's go back. So this was the situation, but so what happened with Wall Street Bets? So these guys got together and they decided what? That of all of the stocks out there, GameStop was the one to bet in favor of? Ganon?
There are facets to GameStop that made it very attractive for the Redditors, the ones who were in Wall Street Bets. So what happened? These Redditors saw that actually GameStop was over-shorted. What does that
Okay.
mean? It means that, let's say there are only 100 million shares of GameStop. The short position on GameStop was actually 130 million shares, meaning hedge funds, professional managers borrowed more shares than is
Yeah, how's that
actually
possible?
available.
Yeah, ask the very obvious question. How is that possible?
It sounds crazy, but it happens, right? Because prime brokers can also, so prime brokers are the ones that hedge funds go to, no, if they want to buy or sell a stock. Prime brokers uh, can decide na, you know what, this company is borrowing 130 million shares. I can only lend him 50. It's okay. Risk ko na yung 70, right? Like
Okay.
I can take the 70
Oh,
for, right? So prime brokers can do that, right? They can
I see.
expose
So
themselves.
it's like they're betting along with their clients.
Yeah, they're betting along with their
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
Huh, interesting. There are no rules against this. You would think that there would be some kind of limitation on that.
So what's funny is, and I think you'll see this everywhere in the world, right? Like a lot of the a lot of the rules don't apply to sophisticated investors. So you see that even here. If you're a high net worth individual, you can be exempted. In the US, it's much more pronounced.
Angel Cabrera was saying rule makers, not average Joes. Yeah, I think that's kind of the narrative nga of the
Yeah.
last couple of days, no? Or last several days, na there has been a very obvious parang boundary between the average trader and kind of these very large institutional traders. And that has kind of fueled a lot of the parang
Right.
activity, energy around this stuff because people feel weird about what's going on. No? Let's look at one of the most important tweets of 2021. I guess it's not a tweet. Sorry, it's a Reddit message. We can remain retarded for longer than they can stay solvent. So this
I like this
statement
one.
has become a battle cry. This is basically what people repeat to each other on social media right now. Can we like unpack exactly what this means? Because I understood it as parang the Redditor saying that yeah, we understand na retarded na yung ginagawa natin, meaning it's not it's not a smart thing to do. But what do they mean by that we can stay that way longer than they can stay solvent?
Well, it's all emotional, right? This whole thing. People are
Right.
just pissed off, and they're not making these bets based on anything fundamental, clearly.
Actually,
So it's interesting to see that this permeated through other assets as well throughout the week. No,
Mm,
all
mm.
emotion. Markets are emotional. Um,
So okay,
Yeah.
so let's no, let's unpack that a little bit more. So these Wall Street bets Redditor guys, they all got together. They decided to buy GameStop, right? So that's the basic thing that they decided to do. Obviously, that sent the price up. What was the effect on the people who were shorting it, on the hedge
Right.
funds that were shorting it?
So super interesting turn of events. It's very important that GameStop was overshorted because if using the example earlier, I borrowed a share at 100 pesos, thinking na next week it'll be 30. I can buy it back for cheaper and make money. What happened was from 100, it went up to 130, which means talo na ako ng 30 pesos, right? Um, these short positions actually have to be collateralized, meaning if Luis is my broker and I have to return the GameStop share to him, if I don't have any money with Luis, he's not gonna let me lose, right? He'll say, "Look, Nichelle, you've already lost 30 pesos. I'm gonna sell some of your shares, okay, so that I can get the GameStop share back." Okay, so what you call that covering? So covering a short is when you buy it back and you return the share to the one that lent you the share, the broker. So ang nangyari is as the stock climbed higher and higher, these prime brokers were closing out the hedge funds at much higher prices. So like from 100 pesos, let's say 200 na, the broker will tell me, look, talo ka na ng 100 pesos. Okay? So I'm gonna buy shares from the market using your money and then
To
boom, you're
cover.
with the yes to cover, and then basically
Pero
up with
pero the action that they did, they had to buy from the market,
yeah,
right?
they have to
So
buy
the
from the
action
market.
of
So,
buying
so that'll
from the
make it go
market,
higher.
yes, exactly,
It
right?
will
Yeah.
go up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why it's super important that it was over shorted because to cover their positions, they have to buy from a market, forcing it na to go much higher, right? And then
Right.
eventually, as it goes higher, other positions or other short positions get covered up pa, leading to
Yeah.
this
So
ano.
is this the what they call a short squeeze? Kasi parang
Correct,
okay.
correct.
Right.
So that's what you call a short squeeze when, because if you have a short position, you don't necessarily have to be covered by your broker. You don't have to be closed out of it. You can increase your cash with the broker. You say, look, okay, I lost 100 pesos, but here, this is 1,000 pesos. Wag ka mag-alala. Keep me short. Okay? So the position that that person is in, where I have to raise cash or I have to take a loss, you're being squeezed. Kaya siya, it's a short squeeze.
So I learned
So when
some
you add
weird
more
new
collateral,
terms.
that's what the
Yeah.
squeeze means.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I learned some new terms recently. So short squeeze was one of them, and then the other one that I learned recently was gamma squeeze. Now I don't know what the hell that is. That sounds cool though. It sounds like an Incredible Hulk-sized squeeze. Is that what's going on
So
there?
gamma is the no, the Greek variable to depict changes in delta. Okay, so delta is the price difference between stocks. Okay,
Yeah.
so the rate at which delta changes is your gamma squeeze. Okay,
Okay.
so this effect of um, increases in GameStop prices, leading to further increases or accelerating in GameStop prices, that will cause what you would call a gamma squeeze. I don't think it's
Nice.
ever really happened before because I don't think we've ever had Wall Street bets before.
Huh, interesting. So, okay, so I was partially correct that it was Incredible Hulk related, maybe. I'm not really sure if that's what was
I have a
going on.
question. Did Wall Street bets know that there were hedge funds shorting GameStop? And if they did, why would you publish that information if you're a hedge fund?
So there's a lot of no, there's a lot of publicly available data. If
Mm.
you go on, no, if you go on Bloomberg or some other market aggregator, you're gonna see data na they don't tell you like who's buying or selling, but you can depict, some of the moves that are the hedge funds are making.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so that's why it's important to the redditors na they felt na it was over shorted because konting momentum lang will cause the short squeeze to happen.
Right. Okay. Okay. So this around this time was when Elon Musk started to get involved, no? So Elon
Yeah.
Musk, obviously CEO of Tesla, CEO of SpaceX, and a whole bunch of other companies that we're fans of. So his own companies have been the targets for these short sellers. No, so Tesla, very notably, was kind of one of the targets of these short sellers a year ago. Obviously, that didn't work so well for them either. So he kind of started to get involved, mostly just lending his voice, I guess, because like he's got 43 million followers on Twitter. This one word and this one link that he shared had, I don't know, 50,000 comments on it, 250,000 likes. So those are Elon Musk numbers, right?
He's the
Um,
richest person in the world right now, right?
Yeah.
um,
On Earth?
wasn't it flip flopping between him and? So it depends on how
Bezos?
Tesla is doing. It
Right.
depends on how. Yeah, yeah. It depends on how Tesla is doing that morning. But
So
it's either flip flopping. Yeah.
one of the.
One of the, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. So this is kind of another. The next headline here that we have is another. GameStop short sellers are still not surrendering despite nearly $20 billion in losses this month. So to put those numbers into perspective, $20 billion is about 60% of all of the inbound remittances that the Philippines receives every year.
Yeah.
And they
That's about
lost that
10%.
in under a
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
That's about 10% of our GDP, more or less, right?
Yes,
Like,
there you go. It is
almost.
10% of the entire country's economic output, and they lost it in the space of a couple of weeks. Why do you think they are not surrendering? Or this article is actually from January 29, no? So that's like 4 days ago. Well, 3 days
Right.
ago, US time to it. Why do you think they're not surrendering?
So, funny you said that, and I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist here, but um, so one of the firms that was heavily involved in the shorting is Melvin Capital. It's a firm called Melvin Capital, and they were able to raise funding from a company called Citadel. Okay, so Citadel is one of the most prestigious hedge funds you can work for. I actually have classmates who work there who are like
Nice.
making $1 million a year. Um,
Nice.
Now, so Citadel funded Melvin Capital up to I think about $2 to $3 billion, right? Citadel is also the broker dealer that deals with you if you buy and sell stocks through Robinhood, okay? So obviously, if Citadel can exert influence over something like Robinhood to prevent people from pumping up GameStop prices, they might be also inclined to back Melvin Capital and say, you know what, para hindi ka masara from your short position, here's $3 billion, right? Give it to your broker as collateral, keep the short position. Um,
Okay.
but obviously, this is a massive amount, and some hedge funds don't have access to that much cash very quickly.
And yeah, and what would you say so yung itong $20 billion in losses, would you say that it's on paper pa lang? It's not actually been realized yet.
Yeah, so it's on paper pa lang. These are positional losses.
Right.
Pero nag-expire ang short positions. So
Right.
when the short position expires and you don't post enough margin to roll it over, your broker will buy the shares that they need to cover your short using your money, and you've lost that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So it's starting to be a little bit more clear in my mind. Justin, Ramon, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I'm
Quick
following so
question.
far.
Well, I mean, I don't know
Justin.
if we've kind of reached the end of this yet, but so the price is around $220 per GameStop share. It's down a bit now from where it was, but it's still obviously a lot from where it
Yeah.
started this time last
Yeah.
month, right? So
Yeah.
where do you see the company going now? If it's gonna, I don't know. I mean, does this bring the growth?
It's hard to say, no? Because uh, look, actually, for us here in crypto, sanay tayo dito right? Like when we look at how valuable crypto is, we don't we don't talk about what's behind it, what's backing it. We think about the market. How much is the market willing to buy this crypto? And then that's it. So we're comfortable playing in this space,
Mm.
but traditional institutions, they somehow think kasi na, oy, if this is a good business, ito yung price niya. And then it's gonna be that price eventually.
Is that what they call value investing?
Yeah, they call it fundamental analysis, right?
Ah,
As
okay.
opposed to
F.
so parang when they calculate the value of a stock, they take a very fundamental approach, pero they sometimes ignore the fact na it doesn't matter what you think the price is. What matters is where the markets dictate the
Mm.
price.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
so in this case, mahirap nang i-predict where it could go because you're gonna have to think about how much, not how much GameStop will do next year in terms of revenue. You're gonna have to think about what does potato in my ass wants to do. Sa Reddit, sa
Yeah,
Reddit,
one of the
right?
redditors. Yeah, yeah. Right,
Six
right.
legs
Yeah.
wanted.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the craziest things about this, no? So parang before all of this stuff, when we would look for stock analysis, we would watch CNBC, Bloomberg, all of these
Yeah.
things, no? And now instead we are going to people like, his username is deep fucking value, right? And those are the people that we're following now. Those are our heroes. And I thought that that was kind of interesting. So like I saw this meme and I was like, oh my god, dude, they misspelled hodl. What the fuck? Like, this is one of ours, dapat. But like, so we're kind of now seeing this intersection between the stock market, kind of more traditional markets, and the insanity of the crypto markets that we're all pretty familiar with, no? So, someone actually managed to buy a billboard in New York. GME is the name of the GameStop stock. Yun yung parang ticker symbol nila. So they're going, that's what they're referencing here. And now, parang, if you're a crypto guy, it feels really familiar, no? Because this is the kind of social media noise that the crypto markets have always been known for. We're just
Yeah.
kind of insane that way with the way that we share parang these memes and buy billboards and stuff. Well, I mean, technically,
Yeah.
only when the Bitcoin price is high. That's the only time we can afford it. But like, when it's doing well, we'll be able to get away with it. So this is kind of funny for me na para it's starting to look a lot more similar to the tendencies of the crypto market. The more retail it becomes, no? Because does that sound like it makes sense to you guys? Like it's starting to look a lot like crypto.
Well, yeah, it's funny because you know how people used to say that crypto to get mass adoption had to be more or less volatile, more like traditional markets. Nobody thought about it the other way around, where what if
Just make it more
they
like crypto.
become us, right? And that's what it seems like is happening now with all these kind of
Right.
things happening in the
Yeah.
last week, no?
Yeah, no, that's for sure. There's a cool comment here in the chat. Singrid is saying perfect articulation of a dirty open secret of the stock market, and another indication of how big tech is willing to shut the little guy down under the guise of suppressing hate speech. So there's one, like, I haven't actually gotten to that part yet though, but this is the part that Nichelle was mentioning earlier. Na one of the ways that the price of GameStop has been parang suppressed suppressed, depending on if you believe the conspiracy theory, is that they started to restrict trading of the GameStop stock in these very large platforms like Robinhood. So we don't have Robinhood here in the Philippines kasi, so we don't really have a really good way to describe it. Pero it's a way for a normal retail customer, normal person like us or any of you guys in the chat to buy stocks. No, and like we're talking small amounts, like $20, $50, that kind of thing. No, so small amounts lang. But for some reason, Robinhood decided to limit the trading of GameStop and some of the other stocks that we mentioned. AMC was the other one. Why do you guys think this happened? I mean, they have some messages to the public. No, they explained it in one of their blog updates. But what's your theory? Nga? So, Nichelle, do you adhere to the conspiracy theory version of this?
So I wouldn't. So maybe conspiracy theory is no longer the right word, no? But like, so first of all, Robinhood did not limit trading itself. They
Mm-hmm.
only limited selling. Yeah, so buying, right? So you
Yeah, yeah.
can still sell your um, you can still sell your GameStop
GameStop.
shares, but not buy more. And that is where you have to ask, parang, well, what Robinhood, you're supposed to be a broker, right, in service
Robin.
of the market, right? So why are you allowing me to express my view on this share if it's negative, but not if it's positive? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like so
Mm-hmm.
so that's so to be honest, if they suspended trading altogether, they can probably say that, oh, there's a market anomaly that we want to prevent, blah blah blah. So
Right.
no more trading.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They're allowing selling, but they don't allow buying. And it's
Yeah.
also Robinhood is a very big company, right? Last year they made about $230 million off of the flows that they send to Citadel's Way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um, if if you wear your market hat and like think about it as a business, um, a lot of people stand to lose money if Wall Street bets and this hype around GameStop continues. And they're also the power structures of Wall Street, which makes this kind of a David versus Goliath, Wall Street versus Main Street battle na sobrang
Right.
interesting to follow.
Right, right. Yeah, so it's funny because hindi pa siya, at this point in the story, hindi pa siya ganun ka-relevant to your average Pinoy investor or trader because hindi naman available yung mga stocks na to a normal Pinoy, no? But this is the part of the story where it starts to move into the territory that we're a lot more familiar with, which is kind of the crypto side of it. So what happened? Oh, sorry. I just want like one quick slide lang just about Robinhood. No, so they've got 13 million freaking accounts. That is like not a small amount of users. And in the last week they had to raise an extra $1 billion in order to shore up their positions. I don't actually know what that means, but like some of it has been kind of confusing. I tried to watch some interviews with the Robinhood CEO. It seemed like he was really, really avoiding a lot of the harder questions. I don't know if you guys had time to watch any of that stuff. It felt like he was dodging a lot of the questions.
Well,
Ron,
there's
were you able to see any of those things?
No, I wasn't able to see any of his interviews, but I did read something where Robin Hood could have explained what they did in a, you know, in a generous manner, meaning that in a way that would have made people think that they weren't trying to like side with anybody, and it was just really a technical thing. Like they had to get enough money to, I don't know, maybe Michelle. That's what I was going to ask you actually. Is there like a technical reason that they had to raise money? Are they a prime
uh,
broker? Maybe they needed to to cover the shorts or something.
I'm not super sure, no, but Robinhood is
Yeah.
also a startup, so
Yeah.
maybe that all this
Right.
activity drove a lot more users into Robinhood, and hey, it might be a good time to raise.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, they don't offer leverage or take on short positions.
Right.
Um,
Ah,
uh, But yeah, so it's definitely interesting because you have to ask yourself, like, why would a broker do that, right? Like, why would a broker stop one side but not the other? And by extension, exchanges, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. So yung
Yeah,
the
this is the
narrative that
annoying part.
that people keep the narrative that people are
Yeah.
repeating a lot now on Reddit is that it's the big guy versus the little guy, right? So
Yeah.
the big corps, the big corporations, the big hedge funds, all of that stuff. Wall Street itself basically trying to suppress the normal retail investor. Now, so now you've got all of these social media accounts on Twitter. The Quartering is one of them. Like he recently he tweeted that the Google Play Store has just deleted over 100,000 negative reviews of the Robinhood app. So because of what Robinhood did, a ton of people started hitting them with negative reviews on Google Play in the Android store. And then Google seems to have moved to remove those reviews, like 100,000 of them. And that kind of just adds more fuel to the fire, no? So if you're the kind of person who is, angered by what's going on, this is just gonna make you even more angry.
yeah.
And it feels like I by the way, I'm just posting this tweet here because it was one of those tweets that got so much attention. I don't actually know if it's true. So that's the other really important thing about what's going on in social media, no? Because like a lot of people will retweet stuff. Like this particular tweet was retweeted 1,700 times when I checked it last. Now it could be like several thousand more since then. We don't even know if this is true necessarily, but it's making people angry. It's making people really, really angry, and it is creating bigger and bigger, I would say, like a divide between the retail normal investor and kind of these parang upmarket, larger institutional investors and firms and things like that. And that is just creating a bigger and bigger noise around all of these things. So let's move on really quickly to so after Elon Musk, let's go back to the Elon Musk part of the story. So after he had kind of started to realize how big a deal this whole Wall Street bets Reddit was, and that he was getting so much attention from everyone because of parang what he tweeted in the last tweet. Parang then he changed his profile naman to just say hashtag Bitcoin, right? And then he tweeted one sentence, super short. It just says, "In retrospect, it was inevitable." Now, shall we unpack? Like, what is that even like? I mean, I have a pretty good idea what he was going for there, but like, do you guys have any idea why he said those words?
Go for it, Luis. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Mon, I know that you've got an opinion on this one, Mon.
Well, the thing is, he's so cryptic, right? Elon Musk doesn't say a lot. I know he had this Clubhouse session where he talked about Bitcoin a little bit. So Clubhouse is this social media app that's iOS only and it's invite only. So since I'm not an iOS user, I haven't been able to get in. Where people can talk, like use just audio, right? It's like maybe they record a little audio message like you do in WhatsApp and then send it over. That's how they stay. That's how they communicate, and then it's not saved unless someone's recording, obviously. And Elon Musk said that he's a supporter of Bitcoin when he was asked about it, but really he didn't say much else. But he certainly seems like the type who would get it. Like he's never really seemed to get along with these shorters also. I know he has some bad history with them.
Right.
The way they shorted
Exactly.
Tesla.
Right. So when he tweeted this, no, in retrospect, it was inevitable. A lot of people kind of, and obviously he changed his profile information to just say Bitcoin, right? So I mean, dun pa lang eh, like that's such a big move for someone who has 43 million followers, and obviously the Bitcoin price reflected that enthusiasm. So in the space of about 24 hours, we went up to about 38,000. Still not all-time high, and I'm actually really disappointed that it didn't actually happen. Like I was hoping that we'd actually breach 40,000 because of that, because of what Elon Musk did, but unfortunately not.
So
Guys,
it's
by the
funny.
way, yeah, Justin, go
Nobody
ahead.
actually knows if he has Bitcoin. He's never actually said that he's bought or anything like that. It
Right.
is
Yeah.
confirmed as of Jan 25, he's the richest person in the world by like 17 billion over Jeff
Okay.
Bezos.
Holy cow.
Okay.
I feel like this guy is just riding the PR stunt. Oh, a PR, I guess, wave of wanting to be the new tech guy who's kind of supporting this, new wave of I guess, support, right, for tech. I was listening to something today, and people kind of like that. Space explorer extraordinaire Musk is the one tweeting Bitcoin over Jeff Bezos, who's kind of like what they say, Amazon's kind of UX needs to be upgraded, hasn't been upgraded in 30 years. So they're kind of like, if they had to choose who would be the poster boy kind of rich guy to represent or lead Bitcoin or some new type of asset class, Elon's kind of the guy that they prefer.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
feel like
Right.
because I mean it's never really been verified. He's not one of those people who have announced that I'm in
Right.
Bitcoin or even any rumors, right? That Elon owns Bitcoin. So he's seizing an opportunity here. And
Yeah.
hey, good
So
for us, right?
yeah, no, it was definitely good for us. I mean, yun nga, like as I said, the price definitely reflected it. But like many other of these parang these hype-driven price pumps, it didn't really last, no. So from 38, we did drop again
Hmm.
to like back to 34. We're currently climbing right now. Does anyone know what the current price is? Like I think we're about 35,
35.
35.5 or something like that. Yeah, mga ganon.
Mhm.
So we're slowly recovering, but we're not at all-time high yet. Now, what's happened over the last couple of days, naman, is that people are starting to, like the Wall Street bets guys, are starting to really flex their muscles, I guess. Now they're kind of just latching on to a whole bunch of different things and seeing if they can pump it. Now, let's see what the next thing that happened was. Now, technically, this is not even Wall Street bets anymore. This is fucking TikTok. So this is where the Dogecoin price pump started from a TikTok video. And for some reason, I don't know why, it was liked 83,000 times and it was shared 29,000 times, etc., etc. Like, I'm not sure why that's happening. Now, what happened to the Dogecoin price? Well, from what is this? 1 cent US, it went to 8.7 cents, call it 8 cents US, and then now it's kind of at 3 cents again. Um, does anyone even remember what Dogecoin
Hey, what does
was?
it even
Like,
do?
yeah, Mon,
Yeah.
I know that you've been around like a lot longer than some of us. Like, Dogecoin is one of the oldies. Can you like remind people what the
Yes.
heck this is?
It's the way they call it. They say when they say meme coin, like MEME coin, that is exactly what it is. It was meant to be a joke by this guy. I even forgot his name. I'm blanking on his name.
Jackson
Who
Palmer. Jackson
is
Palmer.
Yes, he's cynical about crypto. He works for Adobe. He just, I guess, forked Bitcoin, changed a few things, and put the dog, uh, Shino Iba, however you say
Yeah.
it, face on it,
Yeah.
and it's still alive. So memes are powerful. I guess that's the lesson.
Yes. So Dogecoin is, yeah, you're right. So that it is a fork of Bitcoin. For some reason, it is still around. It's always kind of floundered in the a few cents kind of range. But after this TikTok video and after the Wall Street Bets Reddit subreddit, parang latched onto it, they started talking like, let's pump Dogecoin to $1. And that's like an insane price, no? Like from 1 cent to $1. Obviously, they couldn't really pull it off. As we can see here, parang it went all the way up to 8 cents, but then now it's kind of back down to 3. That being said, 3x still pretty good if you were, parang if you were kind of at the start of this. And maybe this also speaks a little bit to why the Wall Street Bets subreddit is so powerful now, because there are definitely people who are making a lot of money from it. There are people who are parang becoming millionaires overnight as long as they can figure out which of these Reddit posts is the one that's gonna trigger the next big price bump. Because when it actually works, it pumps the price a lot. No, like obviously with Bitcoin, it takes a lot of money to move the Bitcoin price from whatever 34 to 38,000. It takes a lot of money to do that. It doesn't take that much money for like a Dogecoin kind of alt. Kasi mas maliit yung market cap niya eh. It's easier to move it in one way or the other. So ayun, so nag 8x ka overnight and then you lost most of it, but like you're still 3x. That's not bad. Not bad for a 24-hour investment. What do you guys think? Is there anything else to say about the Dogecoin thing? We've got some other ones
Oh wait,
next up.
so I think how did we? Because I know they're connected somehow, but how did we get from Wall Street Bets to Dogecoin? Did Wall Street Bets like change focus?
I mean, I think it was also them starting to flex nga, na parang, you know what, like we've got like 1 million day traders, retail investors kind of watching what we do, and then they're like, let's just try stuff. So yeah, one of the Wall Street Bets, parang the most followed of those Redditors, he posted that has Dogecoin ever become $1? And that's kind of what triggered some of this stuff.
I see.
It feels so random.
For
Yeah.
Dogecoin to become $1, let's put this in perspective. For it to become $1, its market cap will have to exceed XRP's and will have to be comparable to Ethereum. Right?
A meme coin, right?
Yeah. So let's. but obviously, like anything can happen. It's just that like, do we see it becoming as valuable as Ethereum?
I mean, so I can tell you what a rational person would say, and like the answer to that is no. But
Yeah,
but I
what
think
would a retarded person think?
Yeah.
exactly. Yun nga. And wala lang, you like it for the lols, right? And sometimes apparently that
Yeah.
is enough, no? Liking something for the lols is enough if there's 1 million of you buying into this thing all at the same time.
Oh,
So yun yung
Bitcoin-
parang lesson of the week.
Bitcoin started in a small community also, right? So anything can happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yes, that's exactly right. And parang we shouldn't I mean Dogecoin itself is actually just a fork of Bitcoin. So parang from a technical standpoint, pareho nga sila eh. So there you go, right? So who knows where this will go next? I would probably so this is a part of the show where we usually have to say that this is not financial advice.
Yeah.
But let me say this. I would be very careful of making bets alongside the Wall Street Bets
Yeah, guys.
community. Yeah.
One
Yun
thing's
lang.
consistent between Wall Street GameStop, Doge, and XRP. These candles were less than a day. And then they came
Super
back
fast.
down. So
Super fast.
this, it's not sustainable. There's a lot more chances of losing your money than making money on things like this. So yeah, don't
Yeah.
hope. Like I think somebody was asking if it's going to go up. Well, not on fundamentals. Let's just say that, right? It's not going to
Yeah.
go up on that. It will just be things like this.
Right. So that what Justin was saying is exactly correct. No, these candles are short. Like yung time frame is very short. Like we're talking, like if you're not awake during U.S. time to take advantage of when this is, kicking off, it's very unlikely that you're probably gonna be too late. I think, and even if you were on time, like you gotta really be careful about what you're doing here. So be cautious. Know that so God, here's a interesting so like someone tweeted, I'm not gonna post. I didn't post it in the notes now, but like someone tweeted that he had just bought in a million XRP at 75 cents. That's the next
Cool.
story kasi. All right, so here you go. Right, so okay, Wall Street Bets.
That was the top.
That was the top. So, okay, Wall Street Bets again. They decided that they were going to pump XRP, right? they did this whole there's this whole post about how they're gonna coordinate it. We're gonna all get together 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Feb 1. We're gonna buy the crap out of XRP
Damn it.
and we're all gonna make money, right? So this is the kind of stuff that happens on that subreddit. Now, he posted this before a few days, obviously, a few days before Feb 1. Immediately, the price of XRP started going up already. And in fact, over the next couple of days, it went from, what is this, like mid 25 cents all the way up to 75 cents. And we had people posting about how, they were putting scads of money into it at the top pa, ha? So like at 75 cents, come in for $1 million. And what is the current price now? The current price is more like 35, more like 35. So yon, no. So I guess that's the warning part of this show. Na parang if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And just because you're doing it for the lols, it's funny, it's like nakikiuso ka dun sa social media trend. That's not a trading strategy. that is a way for you to get to mostly lose your money.
So what's not clear to me is is Wall Street Bets pumping these because there are others shorting it? Like, or is this just, I don't know,
I think
a
they're just
P&D?
said no, parang they're flexing na. I guess to make a lot of money on this also. I mean, this parang ability to like hype up a stock. You also need to do it in a place where you cannot be stopped, right? So Robinhood was in a position to kind of like curtail the hype around GameStop. Pero who will be in a position to stop Dogecoin? Wala, because these are all unregulated exchanges.
Right.
Pero okay, so if I were them, and why is Dogecoin not going up to $1? Well, that's because it's not listed in as many exchanges, or it's not listed enough to have a lot of people actually buy Dogecoin. So
Right.
okay, XRP makes sense, right? Like I don't know, but this is all speculation. And yeah,
I mean, let's not forget that XRP is in the middle of a very massive SEC investigation
hasn't
right now.
changed.
No, that
There's
has
been
not
no
changed.
settlement of that, right?
yeah.
We're still there, guys. It's still happening. It's not as if there has been some massive positive news on that case. This is purely the market deciding that they want to pump this particular one. You know what's weird to me? Like, I don't actually know why it's this one. Like, why XRP? Why not? Fuck, I mean, there's like so many other cryptos. LTC, for God's sake. Litecoin has an audience, right? I don't know what's going on with that. So I feel like sometimes. Maybe the other thing we need to say is Wall Street Bets as an organization is not a real organization. They're actually very, I guess, decentralized. No, so there are multiple influencers within that community, and some of them are stronger than others. So some of them will be able to parang mahahatak nila yung buong community if they want. Maybe others are not. So hindi siya, it's not as parang organized as maybe we like to say. It is a whole bunch of people who are doing whatever they want, and they're trying to get other people to do the same thing. I think that's
really
kind of
feels similar to like the political climate in the U.S. right now with what happened at the start of the year, right? Like
Right.
just the capacity, or I guess the vulnerability of people to just really want to, stick it up to the man or whatever, or just be this, a super libertarian, with all the lockdowns and whatever you want to say about that. But I feel like people feel like, I guess, I mean, there's a lot of representation in that not just in America, I guess, right? I mean, people were buying and pumping GameStop, and were bragging that, hey, support from Canada or support from France or something like that, because they had, Robinhood had stopped the buying of GameStop in certain places. So I don't know, like, it's funny. I think the social climate, I should say, of the world right now makes all of these things possible because people
Yeah.
are just at home, I guess. What strikes me as amazing is how much money these retail still has, considering the poor economic climate. They still have a lot to burn. Obviously, I mean they can go up against these big guys. That's what's scary about it.
I guess 20 like $25 multiplied by 10 million still a decent amount of money ganon. It turns out no na parang you can do stuff to that will parang rival these very large institutional investors. And maybe that has become too much of a rallying cry because it's making everyone parang like, oh, I want to join this movement like it's some kind of revolution. And maybe it sort of is, no? Because like it sounds like what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if this is really what's going to happen in the U.S. at least. Like it seems like they're calling for new regulations around this stuff, and I'm like, what
Yeah,
are you
because
gonna regulate?
no, I mean, what? No, if they
How?
can do that with this, what if they start becoming like mercenaries for hire kind of thing? Oh, hey, I'll pay you
Okay.
like Reddit founders or subreddit founders, Wall Street
Yeah.
bets. Start pumping this. I'll slip you 5 million underneath the cushion, whatever,
Right.
right? And now they're
Yeah.
pumping, really, nefarious coins or something else, right? I mean, that's
Right.
that's where I can see the regulators just putting a stop to this or
Right. Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Nichelle, what do you think? Are we gonna see, regulations? Because like the Philippines is probably gonna copy. What if there are new regulations from the states around this? The Philippines is very likely gonna copy that.
What's interesting kasi is this activity is not new, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you are gonna complain to the SEC saying okay, these Wall Street bet redditors have screwed us over, the activity is
Mm-hmm.
not new. It's called market manipulation. um, so
Yes.
what new rules can the SEC really impose? I think what's very interesting here is the lawsuit on Robinhood, because it
Mm-hmm.
will clarify what the role of the broker is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The exchange, the role is very clear, right? In fact, sa Philippines Securities Regulation Code, there are very limited instances, defined instances, when you can suspend trading on a particular stock, right?
Right.
Whether it's
Right.
technical glitch or with a market anomaly, etc. Not when it's going too high, right? Because that is the sentiment of the market. So I
Yeah.
think that's the most important piece of clarity we can get here is, can a broker halt the trading of a share of stock just because it's not in their commercial interest to do so,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So very powerful clarity that we need. Um, and what's funny, guys, is like, look, if the redditors are manipulating the market, what have these funds been doing for like decades, right? Like
Right.
they would
Yep.
sell more. So these banks, they'd sell mortgages.
Mm.
They don't even know what the underlying is, right?
Right.
And then they're telling you that it's, oh, this is highly rated, blah blah blah. So I don't know. It feels
Mm.
like they want to change the rules because they lost this time.
Yeah. Do
Kind
you
of the
think that they lost? I mean, they lost $20 billion, I guess, in its paper losses. But it seems like parang God, what was I reading recently that so it wasn't Robinhood, one of the other trading platforms, like they cleared like $100 million in fees in trading fee in service fees in this last week. So parang it seems like like they're still winning in a certain way, depending on kind of how you look at it, no.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, so all of this stuff is continuing. Like it's a continuing story. I think the Bloomcast will probably continue to talk about it and parang try to unpack what's going on. I want to do like a couple of viewer questions now, so we can interact a little bit with our audience. So
Yeah,
Jonathan
there's a
is
good
asking.
one.
Yeah, India and Europe are sending warning signs that they will ban Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on this? So India has always been kind of anti-Bitcoin, no? But I don't know about Europe
Yeah.
as an entire continent. Like, was there some new news, kasi, about that? I'm
Well,
not sure if you know.
it was just what's her name? Uh,
Lagarde,
I'm blanking on her. Yeah,
Janet
Lagarde
Lagarde,
said
Christian Lagarde.
Lagarde.
like it like Bitcoin can be used as an escape. I like her words. That to me was telling that they are trying to control something But you know, it, I think they're going to be slow, right? Like even with India, for example, that ruling was found to be I'm no lawyer, like illegal or unconstitutional or something in 2018, and so there's a new one now, right? And we'll see what the Supreme Court will say this time.
Right. Yeah. India naman, it has always been kind of on the medyo on the negative side for crypto. That's why the Indian exchanges, Uno Coin is the one that we're the most familiar with because they're friends of ours. They've always struggled. Like it's not been an easy journey for them because India and Pakistan and Nepal are medyo all kind of anti-crypto talaga. But you know, it is what it is. One other question from Neil naman. What about ETH fees and how BSC can change the game? So BSC is Binance Smart Chain. I don't know if you guys have opinions on this, huh? I'll just do mine, which is that like I get yes, Ether gas fees are ridiculous. I feel that every time I publish new NFT art or whatever, or send like tokens to my friends or whatever, it's pretty crazy. I can tell you that a lot of the Ethereum fans and enthusiasts, they are parang all making long-term bets on ETH2 because that is how they think that they're going to parang resolve those very expensive gas fees. And in case you're wondering if this is some kind of flaw in Ethereum, what it is it's unfortunately it's kind of any proof of work based blockchain will hit these limits at some point. Na wala lang, just the number of transactions will just exceed the how the blockchain can handle it, and because of that the fees go up. That's kind of the
What is it to do with proof of work? Like, wouldn't a proof of stake have an issue also with the throughput?
Parang I feel so maybe this is the part where so this is the part where my understanding of it tends to stop though, because proof of work doesn't proof of stake doesn't appear to have any direct connection with parang number of transactions. Like it seems like it's a little bit looser than that. But I'm happy to be corrected, and this may be the part where we should have gotten an Ethereum developer.
No, I don't know. I mean,
on the show.
No, yeah, we should.
Maybe control is the trade-off, Luis, right? So something like XRP, for example, very fast, very scalable. It's not proof of work, but you sacrifice on control, right?
Yeah.
Because it's centralized.
Yeah. So the argument is that the more centralized a thing becomes, the faster, the cheaper the transactions become. That's generally true until you start thinking about layer 2 or all of the stuff that we're trying to build on top, no? So I think that's kind of the thing there. I unfortunately I don't know if you guys have an opinion on Binance Smart Chain. I don't know enough about it kasi in order to really comment on it. But I can tell you that obviously the Binance open source developers, really smart people working on this. If I were to make a bet, I feel like there's definitely still more energy with Ethereum just because it's the sexiest of the of those types of blockchains. I'm just gonna mute really quickly because my
and I think that the Binance Smart Chain can lower the fees with Ether the same way different shards will lower the fees. Now, in a similar way, it's like you're spreading it around, right? But what ETH2 is supposed to do is like have, I guess, the shards don't behave like completely separate blockchains. As to how they're connected, I don't know.
Is there a lot of
you have a
already on BSC, the developer community behind BSC?
There's a bunch of projects on top of it. I can only name one that I can remember off the top of my head. It's called Burger Swap because it was burgers, so it's easy to remember.
It's an ETH fork, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
correct,
so you can run
correct.
anything that Ethereum has. So if projects like, hey, the fees are too big on Ethereum, let's just all over to Binance Smart Chain, then that could happen. I guess
Right.
it becomes a bit more complicated when if you rely on, let's say, some Oracle system on Ethereum, and it's not going to be so simple to move anymore.
Right. Right. Um, before we end the show, I want to make sure that we all comment on this one really quickly. So, um, this is not related to any of the other stuff we're talking to now, but this was one of the more local news kasi recently. So this is about how the BSP is issuing some new guidelines for what they call virtual asset service providers. That's just another name for virtual currency exchanges, which is Bloom, which is PDAX, which is some of these other cryptos. I actually see Patwin in the chat right now. So he's one of the founders of CoexStar, which is another virtual currency exchange here in the Philippines. Um, Nichelle, I assume you've had time to read through parang these new guidelines. What's it looking like to you? Is there a substantial change? Is it significant? What do you think?
Yeah. So actually, these rules were have been in the making for a while now, no? Because obviously the global landscape for crypto is also changing, and there's an organization called the FATF that monitors money laundering, or at least that issues guidances on how to control money laundering all over the world. They issued a guidance on virtual assets. So the BSP is sort of aligning its 2017 rules to conform to the guidance. That's why hindi na pala tayo VCE, right? So we're now VASPs.
VASPs.
Yeah, VASPs na tayo. Um, and there are very I think new requirements, right, around the travel rule, that will probably put more responsibility on the exchanges with regards to how the token uh, transactions are monitored and recorded.
Right. So from PDAX's point of view na lang, with your customers,
Right.
what do you think is going to be the effect on them? Is there going to be any changes or something like that?
Uh, top like right now for those who are trading using the platform to trade, there won't be any meaningful changes. For
Okay.
those who are using it as a remittance tool, right, to do crypto in, crypto out, you might see some changes. I say might because I can see a comment here around public consultation. The rules won't take effect until 6 months from now.
Right.
So as we
There's
think about
time.
yeah, as we think about how to operationalize this, the BSP has always been open to dialogue, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
nothing final
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Mm.
guess that's the maybe the one thing we should mention naman. It's not that they didn't publicly consult the businesses. We have a chance naman to give them feedback. So it's not as simple as that, like it's like ito na yon or whatever. There is a little bit of ano naman interaction there. That being said, parang I don't know. My initial impression of it was that it wasn't a big, like I don't think it was gonna be a big change from a user experience standpoint. I don't know if you guys agree. It was like there's three Bloom people on this chat, so I'm not really sure if that question is even appropriate. But like, parang it seemed like it was okay naman. It seemed like it was reasonable. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, they
So
did seem reasonable to me also. So, so
yeah,
Bloom and
yeah, yeah.
PDAX find the rules reasonable.
Right. Yeah, there's something there, I guess. Um, like just again, I forgot to mention this, pala. So we're every week on the BloomCast we do a news roundup, courtesy of Bitpinas. No, so this is the Bitpinas page that we're currently looking at right now, and we talk about some of the news items that they were posting about during the week. One of them was that one that we were just talking about now, no? So yung virtual asset service providers announcement from the Banco Central. This other one is just a quick article about how crypto trading is still a very personal process in the Philippines. Now, full disclosure, the writer of Bitpinasi, Michael, he was talking to me when he wrote this article. So some of the stuff that you'll read here, if you want to read about it, is para my own opinion on this matter. So interesting, it's an interesting coverage. He talks about Paxful, he talks about local bitcoins, he talks about Binance P2P. So if you want to know the status of the marketplaces here in the Philippines, which is an alternative way to buy and sell crypto, this is a pretty good way to just get a kind of general overview of the way that things have started to shape up in that part of the industry. And what's nice is that like the Philippine crypto industry is big enough that there's a whole bunch of different areas now, no? So there's marketplaces like the Paxful people, there's exchanges like the PDAX people, there's OTC like kind of Bloom is parang that's where we spend most of our time right now. And then there's wallets like coins.ph. So we've got like all of these different corners of the crypto industry now, which is a good sign, no? It's a good sign that the industry is starting to grow. Well, maybe faster than we think. I mean, when we have our own parang what's the Wall Street of the Philippines? Wala pa tayong PSEI bets na Reddit. Well, like, does anyone want to start that? How do you even do that?
Beyond the bets, I was gonna say.
Binondo bets.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Last bit of news. This is an interesting one. Just want to make sure that we don't miss this one. So Misari Research is a US-based research company. They specialize in cryptocurrency. They do a lot of these market research studies. And they did one on Southeast Asia very recently. They published very recently. And one of the most interesting findings was that for some reason, the Philippines is amongst the countries that they surveyed, the Philippines has the highest ownership of cryptocurrency as a percentage of internet users. The internet users parang statistic here in the Philippines is about 70 million people. So obviously not all of those 70 million people are aged 16 to 64. So let's assume that parang it's probably more like 55 million, no? Of those 55 million people, they are saying that the Philippines has 17% ownership of cryptocurrency amongst those people. Those numbers, when I first saw it, felt a little high to me. Because that implies that there are 15 million Filipinos that have some cryptocurrency. What do you guys think? What's
that's
your general opinion?
Well, I was pretty surprised too, and I guess obviously we operate exchanges, so it's in our interest to see that it's high. But I guess I'm not so sure about the survey methodology here.
I was gonna say like 15 million wallets as opposed to actual users. Because I mean, I guess what one user can have. There's no limit to how many wallets one user can have. So, seems high.
The other question, I guess, is like how many people did they actually survey? So there's that.
What's your sample size?
Because if they go by, for example, counting the number of exchange accounts in all these markets divided by the internet penetrated population, with the Philippines, I think Coins has so many users, right? Like probably not all of them are crypto users.
The last number was a little under 10 million coins.ph customers, supposedly.
A little under 10. So that already accounts for like almost 11 or 12% of your internet users. I assume 1:1. So yeah. Pwede.
Sige na nga, payag na ako. Okay. So my general thoughts, it felt a little on the high side. Justin, I thought it was kind of funny because like you go from 17% in the Philippines of 108 million people, no, to 5% in Australia. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, where did we get that number?
some of the numbers out of Australia is like 1 in 4, right? That's the one that I've been
Yeah.
hearing more of
Yeah.
recently.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know how. Yeah, 5% of Australia compared to
Yeah.
17%. I would bet
Yeah.
that it was more the other way around.
Hmm. So I had one other way to interpret this data, and I'm just gonna, I will preface what I'm about to say by saying that I'm just making a joke, but like maybe it's 17% of Filipinos who think they own crypto, but they actually bought into like these Ponzi schemes and crypto MLMs. Now they don't actually own Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bec- because I mean, dude, that is actually quite likely given the number of people that have reached out to us asking us about, is this particular thing a scam? Is it a real crypto whatever? I I mean, 99% of the people that reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, I usually have to tell them, "Hey man, I'm sorry, but that's not real Ethereum that you're buying. That's not real Bitcoin that you're buying." So I don't know. Like that was kind of like, God, I
Yeah.
wonder if it's just enough
Angel
forsage.
Luxin did not. Angel Luxin did not talk about Bitcoin. No.
Yeah. She's a
Have you
dick.
seen those? You haven't seen
Yeah.
I
those?
haven't seen
Okay.
it. Oh, was it like a Lindsay Lohan type of thing?
No,
Oh my
no.
God.
Actually, it was one of these fake, phishing scam
Ah,
websites saying
Completely fake.
that.
Completely fake.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
fake news article, and then of course a
Yeah.
link to where you can buy, right?
Right. Michael Vincent in the chat is saying the Cian coin holders. By the way, okay, so this is the part where I'd have to kind of be specific. So obviously, Cian coin, the BloomCast is not a fan of Cian coin. We think that that is a straight up scam. However, that is a real cryptocurrency because it is an actual ERC20 token that is actually on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you bought Cian coin, you are one of those 17% in the study that Miss Ari Research just did. So yun lang. That is although it is a real cryptocurrency, I don't think it is a real business. But yun, that's our opinion on that matter. Final thoughts, guys, on this particular press release. Do you think we'll get to 17% for reals, though? I guess maybe that's a more positive way to end it.
Uh, there's one event that can make that firmly a reality. The CBDC, right? Because
Huh.
even though you have these CBDC pilots everywhere in the world, not all the central banks have retail penetration as a priority, right? The way our central bank is approaching CBDC, we want it to convert everyone to digital transactors. So yeah, if may CBDC, I could see it going much higher. Absent
Ramon
that, I don't
Tayag.
know. Yeah.
Ramon Tayag, our resident hyper Bitcoinizer.
oh,
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but not in like the next 10 years though. So
Okay,
I like
alright.
Michelle's answer.
Fair enough. Do you think? Okay, Nichelle, I'm gonna like lock you into a really strange position here. Like, what blockchain do you think the CBDC will be built on top of?
Oh my God, that is a very controversial topic, right? Because okay, so you do know that the central bank decided not to pursue a pilot, maybe until the end of Governor Jokno's term. I actually think it's a smart decision because, from what I understand, like we're still having to understand our priorities for the CBDC. And so if we don't have a clear grasp of our priorities, how can we like decide what protocol to use? And because it's
Fair.
so important, right? This is very fundamental to our economy. We might be better off looking at what other central banks will do before we decide what to do ourselves. So see how I kind of escaped the
Yeah. It's a very reasonable answer. A
But what
very
about
reasonable
you?
answer.
What about you, Luis? What do you think?
I think it'll be stellar. I think it'll be stellar. That's it. That's like just like I don't know either. I don't know either. I think that the biggest question kasi is whether or not Ethereum 2 is going to like fulfill all of the promises that the Ethereum Foundation has been making over the last couple of years, and we don't know that. We don't know that. And given it looks like medyo malayo-layo pa yung CBDC, the central bank digital currency that is official to the Philippines. Malayo-layo pa yon. I mean, God, Ether 2 might actually be out by then. Who knows, right?
Do you think it could be?
But I think it would be it wouldn't be smart to in my opinion, to put it on a POS, because that hasn't been battle tested yet, right? And if you have, I don't know how much money supply are they gonna issue on this chain. Someone could really start screwing up with the whole economy if it hasn't been battle tested.
Jan Charles, I'm sorry, buddy. It's never gonna be Monero.
Pero I think it'll be if it's gonna be based on some existing blockchain technology, it'll be a fork. That's my bet.
Yeah. Okay. And
I
that's a
think
very
you guys
reasonable
are,
assumption. What about you, Justin?
overthinking this. It's going to happen if Manny Pacquiao becomes the president, and the blockchain will be Manny Coin. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. Show me the money. That's your yeah. Okay. All right. That is 100% likely, assuming na manalo siya. So there you go. Unfortunately, the BloomCast is not a political show. It's just a crypto show. So we should probably not comment too much on.
Just saying possibilities.
Just possibilities. And on that note, guys, what are the possibilities that someone will win the viewer raffle for this episode? I think we should go there. Nichelle Gaba, I thought that you were not going to be able to stick with us for the entire episode. Thank you so much for sticking around. We had a great time hanging out with you again. I dare say that I learned a lot from this episode just from hearing you talk about these things. And I'm sure that the rest of the audience also did. So thanks so much for giving us your time. This week's episode is brought to you by BloomX. Yeah, we're just gonna keep sponsoring for a little bit longer. But if PDAX ever wants to sponsor some prizes, you're of course very, very welcome to do so.
We'll do
May
that.
sando ba kayo, Nichelle?
Yeah.
May mga sando kayo na swag?
Yeah, like yung merchandise nyo.
We can sponsor one of the raffles in a future episode.
Sige. So yeah. So yung kasi ngayon yung uso sa BloomCast ngayon yung mga giveaway kailangan sando na may
Secret.
logo nung exchange. That's kind of the
Summer is coming.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a beach thing. Yeah. So
Actually, no, Binance started it. Binance gave out Sando swag. What is it, a couple weeks ago?
Right.
So parang
Yeah. I'm
Standard.
still waiting for my Binance Sando, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it'll make it in time for one of the episodes. I just saw. Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna add this guy
started.
to the chat. Hold on. I'm just gonna add this guy to the chat because the show is ending and we're about to do the raffle.
Hi.
Yeah, we need
But
somebody to
here-
sponsor.
I missed it completely. Never mind.
Okay. People in the chat. Mark Vernon, who was supposed to join about 90 minutes ago, but here he is anyway.
Any parting words?
How are you doing?
No, I just want to get the kudos for getting closest to Bitcoin.
Nice. Actually,
There.
guys, before we do the raffle, let's just do like a quick like what do you think the price is gonna be next week? So Nichelle, this is kind of a tradition on the show kasi like we just do a quick price prediction for Bitcoin on the next episode. So that's February 9th, Tuesday around 7 p.m. What do you think the Bitcoin price is going to be? Doesn't matter what you think the high or the low is going to be throughout the week. What do you think it's going to be next Tuesday at 7 p.m.? And because you're the guest, I'm going to let you answer last. Like the other guys already have their answers kind of ready. Mark Vernon was the closest from last week, right, Mark?
Yeah, I said 34,000. And when I got up this morning for my time, it was 34.2. So not too bad.
There you go. Very, very, very close. Do you have a
Yeah,
what's
35.
what's your call?
35,000. Unless Elon Musk tweets again that this is his best thing and all his money's going into Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Well, I mean, these are unpredictable times that we live in. Mark Vernon is at $35,000 for Bitcoin for February 9th, next Tuesday. Justin David, where are we at? Give me your number.
I'm gonna say around where we are right now. Actually, maybe 32.
Oh
Ooh.
shit, that's low though. That's you're going
Pessimist.
lower.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Justin David, $32,000. I'm looking at the people in the chat right now. Kuku Crypto, $35,000. Singrid, 38. High. Okay, all right. So anyway, so Nichelle, parang this is around the time kasi when the chat starts just throwing all of their predictions onto the comments. So this is quite a funny time for us. So the rule is there's no money involved. We're just making bets, and then whoever gets it right gets bragging rights. That's all. It's very friendly kind of bet. Ramon Tayag, where are you at with your number?
I'm gonna stick to my 37.5
Okay.
prediction.
All right.
Well, eventually
Okay,
we'll get there.
I mean, I guess so.
Well, eventually I'll be right,
Sure.
so that's fine.
Justin David at 32, Mark Vernon at 35, Ramon Taig at 37.5. I'm gonna go with 39,000, just shy of 40, because I'm still hoping, guys. I'm still hoping.
Well, who do you think is going to pump it this week?
Fuck, I don't know, man. Like whoever, right? I mean,
Mark Vernon.
like.
No, I don't
Mark
matter in
Vernon.
the grand scheme of things. Yeah, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Francis Sim, from Mexico. Let's see, you take the top billionaires and they say,
Carlos
I'm all in
Sim.
on Bitcoin.
Carlos Slim.
Carlos Sim. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I'm
right,
all in
stuff
on
like
Bitcoin,
that.
and then you'll see the price going popping
How
up.
do you say I'm all in on Bitcoin in Spanish?
Soy todos. I can't remember. Use Google Translate.
Or Astro.
Okay, all right. Oh my, I don't know, Mon. Do you know how to say that in Spanish?
Astro Mayarte.
No, I don't know trading talk, man.
Okay, all right. Here we go. The guest of this week, Nichelle Gaba. What do you think the Bitcoin price is going to be at next week, 7 p.m.?
I'll go for 36.2.
36,200. That is a very specific bet. What's your thinking on that? Like, help us get to your number. I
Actually,
don't know. I just want to know.
to be honest, like I pulled it out of the air. Erring on the side of a bit of optimism, but not too
Okay.
crazy, without news from the likes of Elon, etc.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
probably be there.
Fair enough. Okay. Sige. So let's review really quickly. 32,000 from Justin David, 35 from Mark, 36.2 from Nichelle, 37.5 from Ramon, and then 39 from me. So again, I'm kind of on the very optimistic side. BitPinas made a joke that they should, like, if people wanted to make a bet on the Bitcoin price, they should just counter the bet that I'm making on the show, which made me feel kind of bad. But anyway, whatever. That's what happens when you forecast, no? Okay, so let's do our weekly raffle. Mark Vernon just showed up just in time to do the weekly raffle. We are at 130 unique commenters, so that's pretty good. Thank you for watching, everyone. Same rules as before. We're gonna draw 3 names. Each one will win 1,000 pesos in crypto, courtesy of Bloom. Please just comment so that we can find your name. Okay, so here we go. Raffling the first one now. Drum roll. And Andre Miguel Abaya, congratulations for winning the first raffle for the evening. If you're still in the chat, please leave a comment or wait for us to post our Facebook post right after this episode, and then you can comment on that. Okay, picking winner number 2. Jim Segyep. What is that? Is that like a Segwit joke? Okay, probably not. Okay.
He's all
Jim,
into seg.
Seg something. Yeah, Jim, congratulations. Again, please just sound off in the chat if you are still here, and if not, we'll find you later. And the final winner number 3. Here we go. Oh, Jan Charles Tana. So Jan is he's won a couple of other times in 2020, but the new rule is that you can win. We just completely forget that whoever won last year. So everyone starts from a clean slate in 2021. So congratulations, Andre, Jim, and Jan. Please find us on our Facebook page, and we will hook you up with your Bitcoin prizes. So the prize this week is 1,000 pesos in Bitcoin for our 3 lucky winners. And that's it for the show tonight, guys. Mark Vernon, you made it to the last 5 minutes.
I
Congratulations.
thought I missed completely.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. Where can people find more of you on the internet?
Hey, on the Discord, the Tag Cash Discord channel. So yeah.
Okay.
The reason
So
I've been
tag-
busy, I was working on my Ethereum blockchain stuff.
Okay. Maybe next week you can tell us. What
Yeah,
you're working
we'll do.
on.
And I'll give some free prizes at tag next week.
Nice. Thank you, Mark. Nichelle Gaba, thank you for joining us again, showing your expertise. This was a really fun episode again. Where can people find more of you and your company on the internet?
Thank you for inviting, Luis. Super happy to be part of the BloomCast today. Hopefully, I can join more of these sessions going forward.
Yeah.
pdax.ph. You can also download our app at the App Store and Play Store.
Wonderful. Okay, and one of these days we will do a quick demo of how all of that stuff works, and parang just so that the chat can be better acquainted with your products. PDAX again is one of the friends of Bloom, one of the premier order book exchanges here in the Philippines. Do check them out and check out bonds.ph if you're starting to feel a little tired of constant crypto volatility. That's worth checking out for sure. Justin David, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. Check us out, guys, on bloom.solutions. Also follow us on Facebook and Telegram. Reach out to any of us for any of your crypto questions.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will see you again next week, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. fb.com/bloomxorg. Bye, everyone. Good night.